Hello, what culture, and welcome to Ups and Downs, and you know the deal, it's Wednesday. So we're going to go through SmackDown. If I like something, it's going to get an up over there. If I didn't like something, it's going to get a down over there. And if you disagree with me, you're going down there into the comments section and you're going to say, Simon, you a darn idiot. But anyway, my name is Simon Miller, and I'm about to take you on a journey through last night's SmackDown, where the good bit gets an up and the bad bits get a down. And then there's the comment section below where you can say, Simon, I agree with you, or Simon, you're a damned fool. Let's ups and downs. Paige started the show by telling us that Shane McMahon will not be here this evening because of the injuries he suffered at the Greatest Royal Rumble after Braun Strowman threw him through that table, and that the championship match at Backlash between Nakamura and AJ Styles will be a no DQ. That's it. Up. If that sounded very to the point and out of nowhere, that's because this segment was very to the point and out of nowhere. It was just there, it just existed, and it was just a way to kick off the show and give us some information. So thanks, Paige. I like info. This then transformed into the show proper, and we had Miz Tv. Once again, the Miz looked a bit like a curtain. It was fine, getting it up. There was nothing special, but it did serve a purpose. I mean, the Miz kept putting over his IC title match with Seth Rollins at Backlash, and I imagine the Miz is going to lose that. And then he welcomed his guest to the show. It was Jeff Hardy, and the Miz kept prodding the bear. He was like, oh, Randy Orton kept screwing you over, and Jeff, you kept screwing Randy, and vice versa. You should have a fight. Then Orton came out and was like, nah, brah, we're cool. But Randy also said that he was going to win the US title on Sunday because he's going against Jeff Hardy, and there was a bit of tension in the air. And I'll tell you this, I like the feud. Hardy versus Orton is good, but turn Randy Orton heel, and that will make it potentially excellent. That's all I'm saying. Then Shelton Benjamin walked down into the ring and stuck his oar in, simply so we could transition into a tag team match. And then we had said match, and that was fine too. Up. It was just a fun back and forth, which was helped massively because the Canadian crowd, once more, like they did on Raw, got hugely into it, and the finish saw Jeff Hardy smash Shelton Benjamin with a swanton bomb. 1, 2, 3, he wins. Of course, Orton was then waiting in the wings, and he came out from nowhere, and he hit Jeff Hardy with the RKO to spice up their encounter in but a few days. Now, this is quite good. We've got programs for everyone, other than Shelton Benjamin, who's kind of just floating through the abyss. Love you, Shelts. Love you. Backstage promo followed with the Iconics and Carmella. It was kind of just there. They insulted Renee Young. They kind of pretended that they'd beaten Oscar last week, even though they really hadn't. It was all right. Like I say, it was just to get them on TV, really. Give it up. Then we get to our first down because it turned out that Daniel Bryan wasn't going to be on the show because WWE said he couldn't wrestle because if you saw at the Greatest Royal Rumble, he had all those marks on his chest, and apparently they're all worried about that getting infected. That's ridiculous. Hence why it's a down. Instead, they showed a promo where he bigged up the fact that he now has the record for the longest ever time in a Royal Rumble match, and that, of course, he is going to be fighting Big Cass on Sunday. But don't worry, there is more Daniel Bryan related nonsense later on in the show, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Then we had more interaction between the Bar and the New Day, and I can't help it. I know I should be able to help it, but I can't. It's nonsense. I love it. Getting up. The basic premise was that the New Day were now officially welcoming Sheamus and Cesaro to SmackDown, because obviously they lost at the Greatest Royal Rumble, so now they're on the blue brand, and they did this by offering them some pancakes, and of course reminding them that they did screw up a few days ago. This annoyed the former Raw champs, as it would, but also they suspected these pancakes may be less with laxatives, and then all of a sudden Xavier Woods summoned in the New Day's new servant, Mr. Bootyworth. That is absolutely ridiculous, and eventually we had a match set up for later between Xavier and Sheamus, and honestly, this was lunacy personified, and I enjoyed it, because I'm a moron. And we get to another down because I'm scared, people. I'm really, really scared. We cut to a backstage segment between Rusev and Aiden English, and then Lana turned up, and she was wearing a Happy Rusev Day t-shirt. The match with The Undertaker at the Greatest Royal Rumble came up, and Lana insinuated the problem with all of this and the problem with Rusev's career in general is Aiden English. Then they showed English grabbing his coat and insinuated that maybe a breakup is on the cards. And I tell you this, if we transition into a feud between Aiden English and Rusev, I'm going to be really mad. I don't want to see that. Put Lana in the group, that's fine, but I want these two to stay together, and I want Rusev to turn face, and I want him to go on a tear with English in his corner. I don't get what we're doing with Rusev anymore. I just don't get it. It's baffling. He feels like a lost ship trying to make his way into the dock, but no one's going to turn on the lights. The hell does that mean? And then it was Big Cass time, and I get it, Big Cass didn't ask to do this, Big Cass didn't write this, but given this actually happened in 2018, getting her down. It was all standard stuff to begin with, Big Cass just running Daniel Bryan down, and he even insulted his moveset. He asked, what the yes lock was. And I was like, I tell you what the yes lock is, Big Cass. It's a submission move. We've seen it for, 5 years? Around about that. If you don't know that, you're probably not watching the program. You're a fool. Also, you can't really be taking the mick out of something's name. Your name is Big Cass. Anyway, eventually Bryan's music hit, but he didn't come out, and instead, a little person arrived onto the scene, and he was dressed like Daniel Bryan, and a small part of me died inside, and it's never gonna come back. And don't forget, this was all done because Daniel is small in comparison to Big Cass. Just let that settle into your brain, let it process, let your thoughts deal with that. Please do not let Big Cass win on Sunday, otherwise, kill me. I flipping loved what was after this though. Getting up. AJ Styles came out to thunderous cheers that were so loud you could barely hear what Renee Young was trying to say to him, and that was great. And then he said on Sunday in his no DQ match with Nakamura, he's gonna leave Shinsuke in pieces. He then welcomed the former New Japan champ to come out, but he didn't, and who came out instead? That's right, Repo Man. Wasn't Repo Man. Samoa Joe. This was awesome though, because once again Joe cut an amazing promo where he said, doesn't matter what happens on Sunday, doesn't matter who wins the WWE title, because the Samoan one is coming after them. Are you kidding me? I'm up for that. Joe versus Styles, Joe versus Nakamura, you can't do no wrong. The two faced off and then boom! From nowhere Nakamura appeared and he gave AJ Styles a low blow and then Kinshattered him in the face. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with any of this, but that's why it's great. I'm excited to see it unfold, and I think they'll steal the show at Backlash. I'm excited. Right, I know that a lot of people think every time I start talking about women's segments, I give them a down, but that's not true. As I've already mentioned in this show, I gave one earlier, an up. However, when Becky, Charlotte and Asuka came on the screen to do a backstage promo, yeah, it's getting a down. Becky was upset because she felt that last week she had cost Asuka the match, and Asuka was all like, no, don't worry about it. And then they proceeded to cut the most scripted lines I've ever heard and finished it by saying, Avengers Assemble. Now, this isn't their fault. It's the material they're given, but come on. Another down as Xavier Woods then just beat Sheamus after a load of distractions. Just rolled him up out of nowhere. I thought it was going to lead to something or have like some momentum or some importance to it. It really didn't. It was just there. Then we had a little bit backstage between Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose and Paige, and Deville was all like, this is great because it's a reunion. I expect special treatment. Paige then went, well, you ain't getting that. Things have changed, and instead next week you got to face Becky Lynch. It was all right. Oh. And at least we addressed this. It had to be addressed, and we addressed it. This is what Paige's little group is doing now. Can't remember the name. Absolution. I mean, they're broken up, but at least, that's how it's going to work here. Do the hands. I now kind of like the constant teasing of when Andrade Cien Almas is actually going to debut on SmackDown. I was a little bit iffy on it last week, but here he actually had his own little segment that was good getting up. Had Selena Vega saying it was up to them when they debut, and then Almas looked in the camera and told us to stay tranquilo. All right. I will. And then we had the main event, and it was Charlotte, Becky Lynch and Asuka taking on the Iconics and Carmella. It was a decent, fine little match. Gets it up. Like a lot on this show, it kind of just existed, I think, because the performers have had a crazy travel schedule recently. They needed a bit of a break. However, Charlotte still busted out a load of crazy moves, including a moonsault to the outside. She is flipping good. Ended with Asuka making Royce tap out to the Asuka lock, and that's it. Now onwards to the Backlash. And yeah, it probably could have been a better last show before the pay-per-view, but I don't really care, mostly because now I know not only are we getting Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles in no DQ match, but also whatever happens afterwards, I'm getting Samoa Joe into one of those mixes, and maybe the other guy goes and feuds with Daniel Bryan. I'm alright with that. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. So yeah, SmackDown, you alright with me. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's show. Like, share and subscribe. Make sure you head over to whatculture.com and read yourself some article, and follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. My name is Simon from What Culture, and I will do one last reminder that yes, if you want to see my professional wrestling debut, which did happen on Saturday, head on over to access.wearedefiant.com, and that's a real thing. That's a real thing. And I tell you this, man, it's got some revenge to do. It don't stop here.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.